Welcome to the Unique Mums podcast. My name's Anna, and I'm a wife, mum, author, blogger, and Jesus follower, bringing you biblical truth, devotions, and encouragement so you can find joy, purpose, and hope as you navigate through motherhood, one cold cup of coffee at a time. You can find the episode show notes, free devotions, and a lot more information at uniquemums.co.uk. Hello, Mum. Welcome back to the Unique Mums podcast. And today is the 19th of April 2023 as I record this. And we're doing this series at the moment called Slow Living. My name is Anna. I'm an author, blogger, and a podcaster as well. And at the moment, yes, I'm doing this series on slow living. And today's episode is about the Sabbath. And the Sabbath is crucial for you as you try to implement a slower pace of life to be more like Jesus. And so I thought I would talk about this practice of Sabbath because it can be quite difficult for people to understand how, as Christians, we might want to do this, because usually people think that the Sabbath is just something that was for the Jews, which is true in the sense that they had the law. However, we can see that it's part of the Ten Commandments, and it's so important that it is in the Ten Commandments. So that's one of the things, and also that obviously we don't need to follow it as a legalistic thing because we're not under law. However, one of the things we do through scripture is that we understand the eternal principles, what still holds true for us as Christians today. And so taking a time of rest is one of those things that still holds true for us. Now, obviously, the way that we go about having a time of rest will be different, but I do believe this cycle of 6 days of work and 1 day of rest is part of God's creation design, because when He created the world, He showed us that this was part of His creation design, was the 6 days of work and one of rest. And I know some people would talk about how the devil never rests, but we need to remember that we don't want to copy the devil. We want to copy God. We want to copy Jesus. That's who our example is. And also the fact that God is in control. And that is one of the things about having a Sabbath, is understanding that we're not in control. He is the king. He is sovereign. He uses us because he chooses to, but he doesn't need to use us. And so it's just understanding that God is in control as well. And so having a Sabbath rest as a Christian, as I said, we're under grace. It's all by God's grace. We're saved by grace. But it is a good thing to implement because it's part of our creation design. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about a few guidelines to help you to actually implement a Sabbath rest as a Christian family, because again, it could be something that could become legalistic, or just a rule that works for some people and therefore works for everyone. But I don't believe that's true. I think there's a lot of freedom in it. We can choose different things that work for us. However, there are certain guidelines that I think are very helpful. And the first one I want to talk about, the first guideline to help you practice Sabbath as a Christian family, is actually scheduling a specific Sabbath day. Now, that doesn't mean that you're never going to be flexible about it, because the truth is that sometimes life happens, things change, you might need to have some flexibility, but it is good to have a routine and have like a specific day that will be your go-to day to have that Sabbath rest. And if you ever need to change it for some reason, that's okay as well. And so, as a family, we always do it on a Saturday. That's our specific Sabbath day, not because that was the day for the Jews, but just because it's what works best for us, because Sundays are usually busy with church, because my husband is a leader in our local church, so he's involved. And I don't know if you have that experience, but for us, it ends up being something that can be intense at times, or we just thought it would be good to have another day where we're more focused on rest. So we do that on a Saturday as a family. So yes, scheduling a specific day is important. However, as I said, there is room for flexibility. So, for instance, actually last weekend we did it on the Sunday because Saturday we had to sort something out at the bank. That was the only day we could go, and then we ended up just doing like a more of a rest on Sunday afternoon. But whenever you can, to have like a whole day of more of a rest time, that's really, really good. But obviously work schedules can vary and life situations change, so yes, there is flexibility. It's good to have like a regular rhythm to this. The other guideline that I would give is that you plan ahead before the Sabbath happens. So when we observe the Sabbath, we protect it. And it's very important for us to understand that this is an important day. When God instituted the Sabbath, He said that He'd made it holy. So being holy means that it's set apart, it's different. And if we really want to continue with this aspect of the Sabbath being really important for us for rest as part of God's creation design, it's a good idea for us to think of it in these terms that when God created it, He set it apart as holy. And so when we're doing it, we don't do it flippantly as if, well, yes, when it works out, I'll rest. No, we actually have to plan for it, and in a sense, we need to look forward to it, yes, and prepare for it. So, what we usually do is, because we usually do on a Saturday, on the Friday, I will get the food ready for the day for the Sabbath, or at least the majority of the food. There are some things that sometimes I prepare quickly on the Sabbath if it's like some pasta or something. But like in general, I'll prepare for most of the food the day before, and I'll make sure the house is organized. I'll do all the laundry that I need to do. Usually, I'll do 2 loads on a Friday so that on Saturday I don't have to think about that. And as I said, this isn't legalistic. So, obviously, if my children suddenly dirtied some clothes that needed to be washed, I would wash them. But it's just having some guidelines to help us to make it a day more of rest and a day that we protect and that we proactively plan for, instead of just letting things kind of happen without really paying much attention to these things and then getting a bit stressed. Or even if we're not stressed necessarily, it's not just about the stress, it's also about protecting the day in order to say yes to more rest as a family, community, and worship of God. And so that's one of the main things as well. So planning ahead. And then in number three is disconnect from technology. So this is something that we really decided to do as a family. So as I was saying, Sabbath is for stopping, resting, delighting, and worshiping. So to enable us to focus on these aspects, it's often a good idea to disconnect from email, social media, and even messaging apps in some cases, because with these communication channels in our lives, although there is a way in which we can use these to glorify God, and they can be good, and obviously we have people that we love whom we communicate with, and that's fine. But sometimes these things can actually distract us from the people we're actually with, and so that's one of the important things of Sabbath, is the people that we're with. So that could be our core family unit, or like the church community or whatever. And so, yes, it's protecting those people that we're with. And because it's also a day to focus on God worship, unfortunately, we all know that sometimes our phones, although we can listen to preachers on there, we can listen to worship music, they can also, with the notifications and the apps and the emails, and just our tendency to go down the rabbit hole of checking things, sometimes they're not the best thing to have. So this is just a guideline that for most people will probably work. There might be some people that are okay with it, that's fine as well. But in general, most people that I've talked to about this will agree that actually having a time off the phone is a good idea in terms of focus on God and the people that we're with. Then the number four that I have here, number four, is to bless the children. Now, this is something that not everyone will do on a Sabbath, but this is something that we read about and we liked about it, which was actually when we do our Sabbath rest, we spend time as a family together. We worship God together, and then we have this time of blessing the children, which is basically praying for blessing over their lives, and that's really special. It's really good. We really enjoy doing that, and it's just that thing of having that routine, that rhythm, not in a legalistic way, but just something that's good, and it's good to remember to do. And we also read scripture and pray together as well. So, having the day as a time of rest, but also delighting God and worship is one of the main things about the Sabbath. And leading into that, the fifth guideline that I would give is to focus on gratitude. And so when I say focus on gratitude, what I mean is that often in our day to day, we can be in this kind of rhythm of consumerism and entertainment and work. And on the Sabbath, it's really good just to have a time to pause, reflect, and be grateful for what we have and be content. And so on our Sabbaths, we don't generally do shopping. I think we've been doing this for about 2 months now. I think once I just finished like an online shop I really had to do on that day, and that was because it was Easter. But like in the all the other days, I really tried to not to do any shopping or anything that would lead me to have more this mindset of consuming or needing even, but rather to have more this mindset of being grateful and appreciating and being thankful for the things that God has already given me. And obviously, we know that shopping is something that's part of life. We need food, and it's okay to ask God for what we need, but it's just having this set apart time for focusing more on what we have rather than worrying about or thinking about even what we need. And so it's really good to have this guideline of focusing more on the gratitude. So I would really encourage you, if you want to do this in a more special way, that maybe you would do your shopping on another day. That's a really helpful thing. And for me, it's really helpful as a mum as well. I reserve my shopping for the Sunday or for during the week or whatever. And on Saturday, I really try not to do that because that's when we do our Sabbath. But of course, as I said, the day thing, it could be that when you start off doing more of a Sabbath kind of rest, you might have to start off with maybe like half a day or something like that, and that's okay as well. It's just trying to have a reserved time, not to do certain things that you know maybe won't be the best in terms of you resting, delighting, and worshiping God. And the one that I have here, number six, is engage in restful activities. So we've been talking about stopping our work and resting, and this is an important thing. And restful activities aren't always going to be the same for all families, for all people, even. We don't always have to observe the Sabbath in exactly the same way. So some people will find some things more restful than others, and that's fine. But the whole purpose behind the Sabbath isn't just to stop our work, but it's also to enjoy restful activities. And so that's an important thing. It's not just what we don't do, but it's what we do that's important. And so, as a family, we like to spend time together walking in nature. That's really important, and we enjoy that. And going to a playground, going somewhere where we can walk. Eating, and we try and have more of like of a feast when we do our Sabbath rest. Watching a good film, so we try and choose a family film that's going to be wholesome, that's going to be good for everyone to watch. And then we play a few games, or we play outside in the patio. So yeah, these are some of the things that we do that are restful and that help us as a family. Okay, so now for number seven, I have enjoy nature. And so, one of my favorite ways actually to observe the Sabbath is by going out and enjoying nature. Now, of course, this might not always be possible depending on the weather, but actually, so far, we've been able to do it nearly every Saturday, and it's been really good. But it's true that actually being in nature, and lots of studies actually show this, it actually helps to calm us down. But also, I think it's this fact that as Christians, we know that worshipping God actually happens quite a lot when we're in nature, when we see his handiwork. And for me, it's also realizing that he is the one who sustains everything and not me. So I could be outside and I'm not doing anything productive. I'm not using my phone. I'm not using my laptop. I'm not shopping. I'm not doing anything that the world would think of as productive. I might not even be doing much exercise. But I'm just being there and I'm realizing and I'm recognizing that God is the one who's in control and not me. And He's sustaining nature. He's the one by whose hand everything lives and is alive. So, yeah, I think this part of going out into nature is really helpful for me personally, for us as a family. I would definitely recommend it as a guideline for others as well, if possible. Obviously, as I said, all of these things are things that you would have to prayerfully consider and see if they work for your life and in this situation that you're in now. So, these aren't legalistic rules, but they are general guidelines. Okay, so that's it for today's episode. These 7 guidelines for Sabbath rest. I hope these blessed you, that they helped you. And if you have anything that you would like to add to these or anything that you would like to say, please feel free to send me an email. And you can find my contact on the Unique Mums website. And also, you can also send me a message on Instagram or on Pinterest, even. So, yes, just look me up, send me a message, whichever way you like. And yes, so just let me know if there's anything you would like to add. But if this episode blessed you, if it was helpful, I also have all the notes on the blog, uniquemums.co.uk, so you can check those out as well with the written down notes. And yes, I think that's it for today. So I look forward to speaking to you next time.